Welcome to Talking Thursdays. Our beautiful guest for today is Ibantu, a renowned digital media specialist known for their incredible achievements and passions for everything in the digital space. Ibantu is a young gentleman from the beautiful KZN and currently resides in Johannesburg. Ibantu, through groundbreaking accomplishment, has a personality that shines through every field task, and this gets him going. Let's talk to him. Let's get to know him. This is Talking Thursdays. Hey guys, what up though? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining another episode. So as you have seen by the title, this is our new series of Talking Thursdays. Ibantu right here. Ibantu Ngobo is my first guest for this series, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy this because this is something for the youth. It's for actually not even the youth, for everyone guys, because we can always and at any time learn something from each other. So before we do get into our interview, I think I'm gonna give Ibantu an opportunity to introduce himself. Then I will give guys the proper, how you should view this member, right? More than anything, guys, I'd like to also just give a disclaimer that everything said within this episode is of everybody's opinion. It's not written. He has a good constitution, what. So don't quote us. Ibantu will also be answering questions to his own experiences. And man, I'm formal, right. Hi Eva.
Hi Tom.
How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. I really can't complain.
It's toasting.
Is it toasting time?
Toasting. I forgot the name of my show.
Toasting Thursday.
Talking Thursday. We'll get it right. It's the first episode.
Check.
Talking Thursday. So Eva, can you just give us a young introduction? Then I'm gonna let them know. Whomst is Ibs. I call him Eva. People call him Ibs. Other people call him
Ibantu.
Iban boring.
That's such a beautiful name.
A very beautiful name. Guys, I should have started off the episode by saying, what country, sir? Welcome back to the country. Not to cut you short, I think Eva's tolerating it. Guys, he has experience in both traditional and digital marketing. So he's good in trend and consumer insights, hotel and leisure and food restaurant, working in large global multinations such as McDonald's, Philip Morris International. He's certified in Google AdWords, Google Analytics, and digital marketing. So this then flows with his expertise in different social media platforms, obviously such as Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter and LinkedIn. Did I? Hey?
Yeah,
that is LinkedIn bio, hey?
Yeah.
So
where did you get all of that?
I must do my research before. I must do my research.
Wait, is that like my LinkedIn bio?
And I had to nipale panse to I couldn't. There was no way. I was like, oh, what's the funny?
You just read my LinkedIn life.
Now they know. Alright, so with that being said, we said it's Talking Thursdays. Not to waste any time, we are going to ask Ibantu a few questions. Just got a few questions together, obviously to give full purpose to what we're trying to do with these episodes, but also just for us to get to know our guests, right? So first question, who is Ibantu?
Honestly, I'm a 31-year-old beautiful Zulu man from KZN. Born in Durban, Italy.
Yeah.
And yeah, just all-round good person. I try And yeah, like a digital marketer, I've had actually some like the joy of having worked with some of the most amazing brands in this country, with some of the most amazing teams. And I always say I'm as good as the teams that I have had the pleasure of leading, and as good as the teams that I've had the pleasure of being a part of. I think I've come from some of the most amazing hands in this country, especially in my sphere, or especially in the marketing industry.
Yeah.
So that have molded me and ensured that I'm the professional, or I'm the person that I am today. But all around, yeah, I think that pretty much explains me. You know, like I love a good time, love a good glass of wine, love a good travel. Love a good series.
A good travel, guys. I actually before Ibantu first have to check. Are you in the country? Are you back?
Are you putting me on blast?
I had to, didn't I? When I called you today.
I'm raking up the M.
Well, not today. Today was to.
I'm joking. Yeah, I just came back from New York, so that was quite fun.
Yeah, one guys, uhleli update is not ukuthi kwathile Cape Town, New York. Yeah, but anyway, with that being said, so happy for you, my babe. How was school like for Iba? And with that being said, what did you study? So what were some of your subjects throughout school? And just, you have mentioned that you're a loving Zulu boy from Durban.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, how was school for you? What type of subjects did you do? How was Iba back then? Like as a
you know,
young
like
child?
it's so funny, friend. Like I always say, you know, we moved around a lot. So by essence of that, I went to a lot of schools, but I always say, like, I had such a beautiful schooling career.
Yeah.
In any of the schools that I went to, I was always well received. I remember being incredibly academically inclined.
Yeah.
Because I think even in matric, I must have got at least 5 A's, if I'm not mistaken.
Distinction hands.
No, because I think I put in the work. But
Okay.
also remember is that I always joke that I started working at the age of 9, because by the age of 9, I was already accustomed to hard work.
Okay.
Because I came from like such a strong theatre background. I think by 9 years old, I was already doing, if I'm not mistaken, the sound of music. And then after that, I went to go do, I think there was a Oz, and then the Jungle Book. And you
So
know,
aside from your normal schooling,
I had literally, I was already like, so I always say, I joke about the fact that I had school from 8 a.m. up until like 2:30 or 2:45.
Yeah.
And then after that, I always had to rush to rehearsals and then get back home and still do my normal schooling work. Wake up tomorrow, rush to rehearsals, or if I'm not going to an audition. So that kind of allowed me to genuinely be always to just learn to operate at a very peak level and understand that you have to keep it on the go. So that kind of helped. And then also as well, I really had an amazing support system with my teachers. I studied, I always say, I think my drama teacher was very instrumental in shaping me. My English teacher was very instrumental in shaping me. And especially, I guess, my history teacher, because I tend to be very cognizant of the struggle that we come from, and how blessed we are to have the opportunities that we have now, and to occupy the spaces that we are occupying.
Definitely,
Yeah, so
and with
that's-
ease and comfort. So would you then say this past and how you've grown is basically parts of like the little pieces or puzzles that have made this courageous, confident Iba within, the whole digital and marketing space, allowing you to go into corporate and being something big, allowing you, to be your own entrepreneur and allowing to enter those rooms, fill up those spaces and actually make big moves?
I think so, because I think what it did, it helped solidify my voice. I think it's always so essential, first and foremost, to learn how to own a room, to learn how to express yourself in a room, to learn to be confident in your skin, and to learn to understand as well the topic that you're talking about.
Sure.
So I think a lot of the theatre work that I did, especially in my formative years, it helped me understand those basics, like how to be confident in
the
room.
fundamentals.
Do you understand? Like, to be able to say, okay, this is what I need to present, this is what I need to get, this is the message that I need to get across.
Sure.
And do it in a confident manner that is still respectful, but that is still very engaging.
So Ibanatu is now in primary school. Ibanatu then Doing amazing, obviously, within academics. Has also then established or find his other love, which is theatre drama, with the amazing support of his teachers. Ibanatu now matriculates with very good marks. Take us just briefly through what varsity then meant for Iba, and how Iba then goes into this marketing world, and why the idea of, after his matric with these straight A's, does Iba now feel the need to do marketing? I don't want to give away your age, in whichever year this is. In whichever year this is. How does Iba then realize that, okay, marketing is what I'm doing?
I think I'm lucky enough that I always say that I've always understood that I'm an orator. I've always understood that I'm a communicator. I've always understood that whatever I need to do has to do with a lot of messaging.
Sure.
It has to do with an audience, and it has to do with messaging. So that I was not really confused about, but I wouldn't lie and say that I jumped into marketing. I definitely knew not acting, because I knew that I'd done that for so long in my childhood that I was a bit tired, and I was a bit disillusioned, if that's even a word, with the industry that I was supposed to get into. So and then I knew that corporate offered financial stability, because the nice thing about growing up in a theatre background is that you actually see the strides and the financial strife that actors in this country are going through. Some of the most talented people I knew couldn't even afford vehicle financing. And again, as a boy from in Lokshimi and then came up a little bit of the burbs, I always understood that a nice life ngiyayithanda ne,
and honest ngale life uyifunayo,
and ngiyazi ukuthi ukuze ngiyithole le mpilo, I think corporate might be it. So when I literally graduated, then I was lucky enough to get accepted into a couple of institutions in the country, and I ended up going to UKZN because my family's alumni of there, and everyone's always gone there. So I think it was just like a natural progression. The only difference is that I ended up going to Howard College instead of going to PMB. So then when I got there, I think I started by studying law, and I knew, and this is the thing about having insight or having truth in yourself, is that in the first year of law, I didn't even last the whole first year. I only lasted 6 months, so meaning one semester, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's one semester. And in that one semester, I was like, because it's not what I thought it is going to be, and C, it wasn't necessarily fulfilling for me. And I think that has always been the one common trait in my life, is the fact that when spaces or when things don't fulfill me anymore, I'm always brave enough to leave. I don't need for the door to be shut down on me. I'm like, actually, this is not serving me. So from varsity, then I did law. After law, I discovered the streets and groovering, and then I really, varsity, I tell the truth, I wasn't the most meticulous student. I wasn't the most focused student, because I think, again, the background of having worked so hard throughout my life, now I've got all of this freedom. Right, and the only thing and that's it, baby.
I still feel like that you were spoiled.
But I think that's all in your life. After that, it's tea time. So, but because of then the streets, I discovered blogging. So then I started a blog in 2009, and at that time blogging was such a niche, and because of that blog I started realizing that no man, I actually really miss communicating, and that's how somehow, somewhere I found myself back in the communication space. So from law, I literally transitioned all the way to a BA, and like in a BA, I think the first BA I did was in linguistics and cultural studies and languages.
If somebody's a viewer, what would you explain linguistics and cultural and to be?
Yeah, because so linguistics is basically just the semantics of language, understanding language and breaking down language as a vehicle of you as a receiver and me as a communicator. As a
So
basically that's all. And in cultural studies, you deal with just a lot of cultural aspects of like the different cultures. I think I was always interested in that, but I didn't last there as well, because I realized that I was just like, no, this is not what I want, man. And then my media studies teacher was like, have you ever really, because you're really good at this, the media part of this degree, have you really not actually thought about maybe just majoring in media studies and communications? And yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool, tell me more. And then he was like, yeah, there's a Bachelor of Social Science in Communications, and you can dual major it with business management. And then when I finally got into that, I found my rhythm. And I was happy. I was like, okay, cool, this is what I want to do.
So with that being said, Iba, how do you feel? I like how when you started the story to even choices towards what you wanted to do with your future, right? You were surrounded by actresses and actors, and you were then honest when trying to make a decision for your own future that uthanda izinto ezinhle, you know. And with that being said, you wanted to rather go into a more stable, if I can say stable, study, you know, field of study. But even with your first choice, you know, and maybe even then your second choice, you then realize that there's still the need, or rather you had the urge to rather still find yourself and do something you'd like.
Yes.
You know, so just reaching out to youngsters out there who are trying to sit their parents down and say, hey, I actually want to do fine art, you know. I actually want to become a graphic designer. I actually want to become a chef one day, you know. What do you think, also based on your experience back then to what's happening now, to the economy now, you know, would be your advice to those parents rather who are probably discouraging these kids?
First and foremost, I always say that there's always two rights or two sides to the coin.
Sure.
So chasing your passion with reckless abandon is not necessarily the greatest idea, but chasing your passion equipped with a great education, and if you can, for example, throw in a business major in there. Because for example, when I started doing I think it was media studies and communication, I was like, actually, let me add in a little bit of a business major, you know, so that it can solidify this passion of mine and solidify my
just have a
degree
full package of
and
what
have
you
a
learn.
full package of what you learn. So for example, if you are an artist, you know, you have to find a way of commercializing your talent. So studying a business degree or having that form of business formal education can never be wasted. That's the one thing that I think we always have to understand.
Yeah.
That will never be wasted on you.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
but it is also essential as well to understand your passion and understand what sets you more alight, what gets your fire up and running, you know. And because for example, you don't always want to find yourself, or you don't want to actually at all find yourself wasting your time,
Definitely.
wasting your employer's time, wasting the world's time doing a career that you know very well, that you are taking up space and you are not excelling in, when another person, that could be their passion and they could be sitting in that seat and they could be killing it and nailing it.
Definitely. You know, Iba, I'm actually asking that question because I think that's something that's happening to a lot of youngsters, you know, where a person
I thought I'm still young. I'm joking.
No way. Where a person can't, you know, follow their passion, or it's found ridiculous to, how do you want to do fine art? You know, rather do nursing, you know, rather do teaching. And I think there's a bit of unfairness, or rather like, I feel like it's a bit misleading too, because that also I feel kind of multiplies the statistics or the ratio of depressed young adults, where now you've studied the specific thing, you were forced to then obviously look for a job. You got it because Vele, they said you must study this degree that will get you a job, but you know, things are just tough. But anyway, we just derailed there a little. Would you feel that the digital media space is a safe and easy place to grow as a youngster?
Oh my God, I'd say, guys, jump in now. I think genuinely there's always going to be that fear of, okay, the market is getting saturated and there's an influx of talent as opposed to the ratio of jobs currently right now. Globally, I always say this, I'm like, globally the whole world is in a recession. So we always have to take that into account. Everywhere. But that said, it doesn't mean Uti Talent Elako will not find you a place.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Do you get me? Like your talent will always find you a seat at the table. And this is why I used to, for example, have such a deferring view when people are like, no, rather study nursing or whatever it may be. And I'd be like, but you guys are always going on about faith of a mustard seed and believing in God and whatnot and whatever it may be. But then again, you're just like, oh no, let me study nursing because don't you believe in God? Don't you believe in, don't you have faith? If I work hard enough and if I work hard enough with a peppering of luck and a peppering of faith, you'll find your seed. You know? So the digital space definitely, and also guys, remember, like the digital space is branched out into so many hands that literally feed the same beast. So with digital marketing, you've got so many careers. You've got digital strategy, you've got paid per click specialists, you've got community managers, you've got digital marketers, you've got campaign managers, you've got integration specialists, you've got analytics specialists. It's broken up into so many fields that feed into. So for example, you can even be a user-generated content specialist, where honestly in your life you make money by curating user-generated content from brands. You can find yourself in the consumer insight space, because what has now become like the largest social listening tool that is more affordable for brands than, for example, paying Neiman's or, for example, having focus groups all over the place. Social media. So consumer insights as well, for example, has had to now start doing what? Adapting
and getting an in-house solution. Yes.
So there's so many places you can find, like if you're a numbers person, for example, the analytics side of it could be, for example, your thing, the SEO side, the coding side. All of these things, for example, formulate this part. If you're a content creator, or if you're a creative, the graphic space, the web design space, the social media management space could be something.
With so many branches.
It's so vast, like
I love how you also mentioned, Lukuti. With that being said, and CTC, we believe in God, we trust in God. So with a little bit of hard work, and you find yourself in spaces which actually brings us to our next question. What motivated, so we do know that you were in corporate, right? What motivated your shift from corporate to, if I am correct, or if you will then correct me, to then deciding to being your own boss, to being, to run your own business? And what did this mean? Like, how was the transition from corporate and to now saying, as Ibanatu, I'm just in the space and I'm about to make the most out of it?
I think the honest truth is I'm still birthing my new entrepreneurial journey. It's been about 2-3 months. So
you're doing amazing, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Siyabona,
so that was kind of nice.
Yes.
But it's still very, very new to me. It's still such a new space that I wouldn't even be comfortable calling myself an entrepreneur yet. I think I'm still a corporate baddie. I'm still a corporate boy.
Let go, Eva. Let
go. Because I'm still also doing a lot of consulting work.
Okay.
But to answer your question, what led to that decision? I think we never talk about the gay ceiling, especially in mainstream corporate South Africa. And especially if you're feminine presenting.
Yes.
And we never talk about how, for example, it's still pretty much a very boys' club. And at times, people who lead you come with their own prejudices that they might not even be aware of. And because of that, then it tends to limit and stunt your growth. And you start falling prey to it. And so that, it wasn't, and I always say, I was like, I thank the Lord for our industry, or the marketing industry, having people like Abu Sylvester Chauke, who honestly are doing so much to empower young black, gay males and females, or queer people, in our space, and are giving them fair opportunities and giving them fair chances to grow. But yeah, it is a little unspoken, don't tell nobody, don't tell us.
It actually brings me to my next question, because my next question was then, what are some of these challenges, that you do then face in corporate, because you're gay, because, I mean, if I think about it, if even in normal day society,
Yeah.
you know, people do kind of act weird about it, I can
Yeah.
only imagine in these corporate spaces. And how did you deal with it?